This is Infinity, and in this episode you'll learn about a hunter from the past, as well as other unusual animals discovered by scientists. Let's go! Something like a starfish. These are the words to describe what scientists from Cambridge University found. The prototype of a starfish discovered by them has common features with sea lilies as well as with modern starfish. This star, or rather something strongly resembling it, will be used as a template by which researchers will figure out how it evolved from this simpler form to the complexity of its contemporaries. Meanwhile, in Central Africa, people have found a creature that's been legendary since the last century. In the early 1900s, many people, including scientists, spoke of giant cats that looked like tigers but were not. They were said to live in the mountains but hunted prey everywhere, dragging it back to the highlands to eat. Also, legends say that these cats were often captured and kept in cages for years. A tracking photo of our cat can prove it. It has enormous fangs that don't fit in its mouth, striped skin, bright, shiny eyes, and a short tail. And the size itself, of course, is appropriate. Do you think this picture is real? Could such cats have existed in the past? Share your thoughts in the comments. But what could certainly exist, and this is not even up for discussion, is such a furry beast. It was discovered in Spain and was immediately given the name spiny robber. The creature was about 10 inches long and weighed no more than 2.4 ounces. So why is it called the spiny robber? The answer is simple. It had small spines on the lower part of its spine, which were supposed to protect the animal from predators living at the same time with it. On the plus side, the found remains of the beast are perfectly preserved. This allows scientists to see even traces of fur, skin, or internal organs. And that's considering that the creature existed as long as 125 million years ago. People really like to watch everything related to mythical creatures. This is especially true of Cthulhu, the menace of the seas and oceans. Of course, I can tell you about such curious cases related to it, but today we will not have Cthulhu as such. But I will show you a creature that looks very much like it. A creature that's definitely real, and this is the most important thing. The organism scientists found was the ancestor of modern holothurians, or sea cucumbers. And its shape seriously resembles that of Cthulhu. Who knows, maybe Lovecraft was inspired by it. Well, isn't it creepy? But yes, 430 million years ago there were only similar, terrifying, and indescribable creatures on Earth. Sea monster. It washed ashore in the early morning after a high tide. The encounter took place in Australia. The creature resembles a jellyfish, but at the same time combines features of a squid or an octopus. Neither fishermen nor even scientists have been able to describe it. This is the first time humans have encountered such a creature. But what's not to be doubted is the existence of the following creature. This is a pigfish found in Italy off one of the coasts of the island of Elba. When looking at a photo of this creature, the thought immediately comes that this is a terrible result of some kind of mutation. But again, this is not an alien or a mutant, but an animal that actually exists in nature. However, it was found very far from its natural habitat, which of course alarmed scientists. It turned out that in front of people there was a wounded, and because of this, beached shark pig, a creature that was first discovered back in 1758. These fish have a massive body with large dorsal fins in the form of a sail and can grow up to 5 feet in length. These fish usually live in the Atlantic at a depth of about 213 feet. Punk rock. That's the name of a genre of hard rock music. You know what else is called that? A dinosaur, which remains were recently found by scientists. This giant existed about 170 million years ago in Africa, and it got its name because of the powerful spines that protruded from its ribs. The only disappointing thing is that so far little is known about this unusual dinosaur, because scientists have found only one artifact, a fragment of its rib with spines. Bone outgrowths of punk rock are about 10 inches long. Based on the shape and size of the fossil, the researchers suspect that the creature belonged to a group of armored dinosaurs called Ankylosauria. You ever watch the new Lord of the Rings TV series? Opinions upon it vary. Some give it a lot of praise, while others say it's complete poppycock. Either way, write in the comments what you think about the TV series. So where was I? Oh yeah, it seems that the history of this magical world has gotten out of hand, and Gollum has appeared on our planet. Maybe the One Ring magically flew in our world and he decided to get it. In any case, a Gollum-like creature was filmed by eyewitnesses. This footage is really creepy because the pale creature seemed to want to hunt a pig or something else standing in front of it, but people got in the way, so Gollum couldn't find a place and was all nervous. Now I invite you to go from the surface to the ocean and check out something curious found by a lone diver. The man was swimming in the water column and happened to come across this tentacle. At least that's what he thought it was at first glance. He thought that it was a limb of some creature that had fallen off for one reason or another. But then the event took on an entirely different character. The so-called tentacle began to move, even though it had no eyes, ears, or mouth. But how was this possible? Could the diver have discovered a unique living creature yet unknown to science? In New Zealand, scientists stumbled upon a crab that was very large, and this story would not have been so interesting if that was the end of all the surprises. It turned out that the giant crab also had a third eye. The researchers suggest that the unusual creature may either be a mutant or two conjoined twins. Their second thought was prompted by the analysis of the creature, which showed that there is some defect in the crab's brain that does not allow it to fully function. And again, ancient, and again, marine, and again, a creature. Well, what did you want? That's the nature of excavations and everything unusual. But the creature is unique. It was found in a Canadian quarry. Paleontologists found the remains of the creature, which are perfectly preserved, despite the fact that they're about 450 million years old. Studies of the found fossils showed that the creature belongs to the group of Merilomorpha. These are extinct arthropods that lived on Earth about 450 million years ago. The arthropod was completely soft-bodied. Its body length was 2.3 inches. The good condition of the fossils allowed scientists to recreate the appearance of the ancient animal. Another curious thing is that this creature had several pairs of limbs, including one under the head. This pair was very long and was used by the creature to move along the bottom as if on stilts. No eyes were found in this monster, which suggests that the so-called stilts or some other body parts could act as locators, helping this ancient sea creature to orient in space. The largest one. I suggest that we take a short trip to the Swiss Alps, because it was there, at the end of the 20th century, where scientists found three ancient creatures at once, or rather, their remains. This finding is interesting because one of them is presumably the largest creature scientists have found in history. The order of this giant is Ichthyosaur. Such an idea was suggested to scientists by its tooth, which made this sea creature a real giant because its size exceeded the size of the teeth of other major creatures several times. If some, like the Ichthyosaur, is difficult to describe because of the time in which it lived, the next creature caught on camera is impossible to explain because, well, you'll see for yourself now. This bestial human figure loomed in the dead of night in a Texas town. The creature had come to the zoo, and it suggests terrible thoughts. What if it's a monster unknown to science that's come to feast on caged animals? Sounds very frightening, doesn't it? What do you think it could be? Web users, for example, are divided into several camps. Some put it down to a joke and say it's Rocket from the Guardians of the Galaxy movie, coming down to Earth and looking for something to eat. Others believe that humans have caught the mythical chupacabra on camera. Well, I'd call the third camp the camp of skeptics and pragmatists. They are convinced that it was some man dressed up in an animal costume and decided to prank his colleagues at work. Underwater Anubis. This is exactly how we can describe this creature, which not so long ago was described by scientists on the basis of finds. Paleontologists are convinced that all this time there was some ancestor of whales which lived on land, and even had four paws together with the face of a jackal. Because of such an unusual and intimidating body shape, it was called Anubis. On Earth, the animal lived more than 40 million years ago. It was about 10 feet long. According to researchers, Anubis had very strong jaws, allowing it to crush the prey in no time. It's likely that Anubis hunted mammals, crocodiles, and even its congeners, representatives of other species of ancient whales. Evil Minion. That's how I would comment on this creature if someone told me it was real. And the funny thing is, it does exist. It was found by Chinese scientists. It was spherical in shape, covered with spiky outgrowths, and with only one hole, the mouth. Someone immediately began to make incomprehensible, strange assumptions. They say, this is what you and I came from. But most scientists simply continued their research and learned that this minion lived on the bottom and fed by filtration. Next, people delved deeper into the study of this minion and only got more confused. Everyone found a clue to develop their own theory because this creature is so strange, incomprehensible, and at the same time, frightening. That's all, guys. Which creature struck you the most? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching, and see you later.